the main thing I'm going to be showing you guys today is how to use the Gundam marker and how to clean it up with either an eraser or alcohol and a Q-tip. I don't have the Tamiya panel liner. I just got this here Gundam marker, so we're going to be showing you all how to get it done. Alright guys, so you want to take your Gundam marker here. And if you've never used Gundam markers before, you might need to press the tip into the paper before it starts flowing into the tip. But we're going to show you guys how to panel line these here lines. So, the first thing you want to do is, it's very important to make sure you're doing this on the runner. Because if you do this while your kit is already assembled, there's a good chance that it's going to seep through and it's going to get down below the armor and get into the inner frame and crack it, and it's going to cause your kit to break. So the best thing to do is just line it on the runner so that way it doesn't have anywhere to go, it doesn't seep through, and you'll be good to go. So, you just want to look for the lines, and you can see which lines are going in. You can see the little lines on the plastic. And it's going to be different if you're using a fine tip or a pour type. I'm using a pour type here, so all you got to do is kind of dab it, and you can see it move. You can see the line draw itself due to capillary action. Now, if you have a fine tip, which is a brush tip, then you'll have to go along the line, but if you have one of these, you just kind of press it to the hole and the line will draw itself. That's why I love this one, because it's so much easier. I love to watch that capillary action. I love to watch the lines draw themselves. It just looks cool and it's easier, so that's a win-win. And you always want to make sure you're at the right angle so you don't get on anything else. Sometimes you might need to rotate around so you can make sure you get everything. But you just want to make sure you don't pull it too much, otherwise you know, that's what's going to cause some damage possibly. Usually if it's not ABS, it won't cause damage. Unless you use a whole bunch, then it's possible. That's why I use the pour type, because once you just dab it here and there, go back in the cracks until the whole line is solid. But that's why I love the pour type, because it makes it a lot easier for these lines. They just draw themselves. And if you just press it, like if you press it down and keep pressing it, all the ink is going to flow out at once. And that is not what you want. You can make a mess that way. So, personally, what I like to do is when you do your panel lining, instead of going back and forth a whole bunch, usually what I will do is I'll panel line a whole entire part. That way I can come back and clean it all at once, and that way it makes it a lot easier. And it also will go a little bit faster because you don't have to keep going back and forth with cleaning and marking. So we're just going to line up our sniper rifle here. Get it looking nice. And you want to rotate to make sure you don't miss any spots. Alright, so to clean this thing up, get you some 91% alcohol, some Q-tips, or you can use you a little eraser or something. And actually, you can use either lighter fluid or alcohol, or a rubber eraser will also work. So, what's important to remember here is you want to swipe perpendicular to the line, not the same way. Because if you do it parallel, if you do it on top of the line like this, the Q-tip can actually get in the line and bring it back out. So if you do perpendicular, it will actually pour the excess ink into the line, into the recessed area, and it will prevent it from pulling the ink back out. And it's also very important to remember that you don't want to soak your Q-tip with alcohol, you just want to damp it. So when I do it, I just give it a quick, like that. Just give it a quick little shake like that. And that way you're not getting like soaked in alcohol. You just want it to be damp. So then you give it a little swipe like this. Make sure it looks good, nice and clean. And it helps whenever you get it off the line to rub it with the other side that's dry. And if the line is like all the way down, like if there's a big gap and you're not going into the gap, you can clean around it, like kind of going on the outsides like this and swiping close but not quite onto the line, so that way you're getting close enough that you can clean around it, but you're not swiping into the line so it pulls up. And sometimes you might actually just have to go back over the white area or whatever color it is. In this case, the beige. Go after the beige area again and go over it again with alcohol just to clean it up a little bit more, because it might leave a little black on the rest of it. But you just want to always make sure you can get it as clean as possible. And you got to be kind of careful when you're getting in the hole like that, because, I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but it's close enough. That looks pretty good. Let's check out this eraser. We're going to try to use the eraser now. In my experience, the eraser works better when you're not doing perpendicular, unlike the alcohol. And personally, I do prefer to use the alcohol method, but I do have one of these eraser pens, so we'll show you how we do it. And this is just like erasing something with your pencil, you know? Just swipe that bad boy away. But you can probably assume using alcohol is less messy because there's not so much shavings everywhere. But it's all a preference thing. Personally, I prefer to use the alcohol because it doesn't take quite as much rubbing to get it off. But hey, like I said, it's all a preference thing. I mean, you know, if you don't want to waste Q-tips and you're like, I got an eraser on my pencil, this will work. But in my experience, it's just kind of easier to use the alcohol. Sometimes, like I said, you might want to come back with a clean Q-tip. Go over that lighter area, this beige right here. We want it to look nice and bright. We don't want it to look dark. We don't want it to look like it's stained with ink. So we come back and we clean it up. But you do have to be careful when you do this because sometimes you can be a little overzealous and make the lines come off, sort of like I did on the inside of that circle there. So then you just come back with the marker. If you've got an area like that, you know, sometimes you just need to come back and double check it, look at it a couple times. So whenever you dab it the second time, just make sure you look inside after every dab until you get it as clean as you want it. And pretty much, guys, you just want to make sure you clean it up until it looks nice and satisfactory. Just make sure you clean around these lines. Don't get any smudges on your kit. And you're pretty much good to go. And if you get some Tamiya panel liner, I mean, generally it works the same way. is a pour type. It's just that it comes in a little jar instead of a marker. But it has a little dropper that is on the underside of the lid. And the dropper works just like the Gundam marker. So just dab it with the dropper. You know, don't pull it up. And I think you'll be good to go. And those look awesome, man. I think these look pretty good. And if you guys want to see some more tutorials, put it in the comment section and let me know. If you want to see more stuff like this, like and subscribe.